All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, it's hip-hop interview segments, and we got the one and only, the legendary Mitchy Slick right here live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I gotta say first and foremost, man, I have been a fan of yours for a long time, man, so thank you so much for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening.
I appreciate you, homie, for rolling with me through the years, man. All love.
But I know you're a busy guy, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast. But I have to ask first and foremost, man, like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially, man? Because your roots run so deep, man. You're such a phenomenal MC.
Basically, bro, I feel like everybody pretty much had a little tablet coming up or wrote a rhyme. Once upon a time, whether it was elementary or middle school when they started, whatever it is, everybody wrote a rhyme or two. I never took it seriously, but I was really into hustling at the time when I decided to grab the mic. And what was going on was I knew I always had a good pen, but it was some homies of mine that actually got a little record deal. And from the record deal, I was seeing them coming up on cars and houses and all this type of shit. So I was like, well, shit, man, let me try my luck. It was always about making some money. I wasn't just going to be a rapper and not be, making something out of it. So I never really stepped in front of the put it out to the public. But as soon as I saw some money getting made, and in between that and just watching Master P, bro, Master P, it was the first time I saw that it wasn't coming from a conventional, home front. And that was the killing because I'm from San Diego. That ain't we ain't got no long legacy of no rich roots of rap. But just seeing that he made his empire based off of him being a real dude and being a good businessman and being able to be independent, it gave me a vision to see that I didn't have to go the conventional route, which was going to one of these major labels or going somewhere like that to get the okay from a label, and I could do it on my own. So between them two things, that's what really kicked it off.
And also as well, in the year 2001, you actually released your debut album titled Triggeration Station that actually peaked at number 13 on the Billboard charts. I was wondering, can you actually shed some light on this iconic release? And of course, is it still available to be streamed or purchased today?
Basically, bro, that was my first effort, homie. Before that, I probably only made like 4 or 5 songs, but I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I wanted to get across. Just repping the hood. That was the original inspiration for doing even writing a rhyme or making people want to hear me. It was just representing for my neighborhood, my city. LA was doing it, Compton was doing it. I wanted them to know that my city was on and cracking and tell my story as well. So when I did that Triggeration Station album, that was just me telling my story and showing people what San Diego, California was about, giving a different perspective than what was popular. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think of San Diego, of course, everybody thinks the palm trees and SeaWorld and all that. But it's a trip. When you grow up, I grew up in San Diego, you rarely even see that shit. You know what I'm saying? We never go there. They got us separated and segregated. So, man, I just want to tell my story, man. And a few of the homies got together, and we put together an album, man. I was working with Sir Jinx at the time. Shout out to my big bro, Sir Jinx, He had just came out of working on Exhibit's 40 Days or 40 Nights album, and I was just with him, sidekicking with him, homie, and just learning the game. So if you hear the album, you hear the for being that far back, the release 20 years ago, it's the kind of advanced album based upon I was learning all my game from somebody that was legendary on the West Coast and had already put out platinum Ice Cube albums, you know what I mean? So that's what was going on during that time.
And I gotta say as well, my favorite song it will always be Wrong Kind of Anthem, man. It's always my go-to joint when I listen to that record.
Hey, me too. I think that's one of my favorites too. You know what I'm saying? In my town, they like a few other songs, but Wrong Kind of Anthem for sure was one of my ones.
And also as well, when you brought up Exhibit a few moments ago, in the year 2004, you were actually on the writing team for Exhibit's album Weapons of Mass Destruction. I was wondering, man, what was it like just working on that iconic album and actually writing some of that legendary project?
I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time. I didn't write none of the verses, but like I don't want to take credit for writing none of Exhibit's rap, but some of the ideals and a lot of the concepts that was being used for the album, especially any of the crack stuff and the my moniker. I mean, my signature ad-libs and shit like that was most definitely inspiring some of those songs, and just being in a room that big and being able to create and not be rushed and come up with dope stuff. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I haven't done much of that for artists, because I'm kind of like a conventional artist, like when it comes to like making my music, is most of it's just for me. But I've done other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But that was cool, bro. Writing some of that shit and being there for some of those iconic ass, legendary ass West Coast slaps, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I ain't taking no large amount of credit or nothing like that for writing Exhibit album or no shit like that. But I most definitely was there influencing a lot of the stuff that was going on at the time. It was all good. I mean, I didn't get no whole bunch of praises or props or much shit in return for it. So I can't really just act like it was the greatest shit I ever did. But it was cool.
And also as well, like, and you did that when you were early on in your career. I have to ask, what is did you actually happen to learn anything while working with Exhibit? And of course, what's one of the biggest things you learned and took from those recording sessions?
Well, Exhibit and all of the main cats and shit, to even like a Raz Cat, anybody that's been around during that time, you're using a vocal recording process that comes from Dr. Dre. So with Exhibit being a straight disciple of Dr. Dre, I learned firsthand, how to put the vocals down. And even though it may seem like nothing in today's climate where they're pretty much doing whatever they want to do, it's a technique to laying these vocals and getting them right and making them come through clean. And Exhibit was really on my ass real tough about it, because I came in on some street shit when I first got around. But I learned Dr. Dre's vocal recording process that I haven't even totally perfected to this day, but it got me on the right track. So that's pretty much all I can say about that.
And also as well, you are actually 1/3 of the hip-hop trio Strong Arm Steddy. I was wondering, what's the story behind this iconic group, and of course, how did you initially meet the other members?
Well, like I said, I was turned on to Sir Jinx by my big brother, man, DJ Jam. So the big homie Reeves and DJ Jam was partners, and he sent us up there to work with Sir Jinx early in my career. I mean, in the beginning, that's how it all kicked off. And when Sir Jinx was working on Exhibit album, that got me around Exhibit, got me around the Liquid Crew, got me around the Alcoholics Barbershop, and that was pretty much like the dopest MCs from West LA and a couple other cities and shit. But they took me in, homie, and that was just from working with Sir Jinx, and that's why I built that relationship. And the group was actually 4 of us. It was Exhibit, Klondike, Feel the Agony, and me. And me, Klon, and Phil just happened to be the only cats out the crew that didn't really have a deal, because we was all, the Strong Arm Steddy was a mixtape series and just a movement. But the only cat that didn't have a deal and that wasn't really signed at the time that was part of those mixtapes, you got the Far Right was part of those, Raz Cat, Saphir, a lot of artists that had already been out and had deals. We was basically the rookies of the crew, and we was just being supportive of Exhibit. So with us traveling and being on tour with Exhibit, and the mixtape scene being so crazy at the time, we kind of like ended up having so many dope ass West Coast MCs on the project, but then it ended up filtering down to me, Klein, and Phil just traveling with Exhibit and turning it into a group. Now from that, Exhibit started doing the my ride shit or whatever, and that me and Klein and Phil went and did a deal with Angela's Records. And, that's pretty much the story on that, man. And I just, I thanks to everybody involved. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to see a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have seen. You know what I'm saying? Just on the route I was already going. It wasn't a whole bunch of money or compensation involved for those situations, but I did learn a lot.
And also, as well, when you brought up a few moments ago, actually, as well, about the Debo series, that was actually my favorite mixtape series that you guys actually put out back in there. And I have to ask, what actually made you guys decide to just make a Debo infused mixtape?
The type of music we was making, bro, in the relevance of those movies at the time, man, we was pretty much Deboing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wasn't being conventional. You know what I'm saying? We was doing some new shit. We was basically, at its finest, we was blending the conventional MC shit with the gangster shit. And that's what we brought to the table, a fine mixture of that. Whether it be more of the gangster shit on my half and more of the MC shit on Phil's half. And then the blending of it with Klondike, it was, that's it, bro. That's where it came from, straight up.
And also, as well, in the year 2011, Mac 10 actually relaunched his iconic label, Who Bangin' Records, where you actually inked a deal with him. I was wondering, how did yourself and Mac 10 get connected? And of course, what was it like working at that relaunched legendary record label?
Well, it really got cut short, homie, because as soon as me and Mac did the deal, Mac came across some you know, physical situations where he had to go and have surgery and got healthy fast, but it just put a damper in the movement. I don't know what Mac wanted to do after that, but it didn't really take off, bro. It wasn't another situation where it didn't really turn into what it was supposed to be. I got love for Mac 10, and I think just me and his appreciation for balling and the gangster West Coast lifestyle together is pretty much what, you know, that I'm when you think of my concept and where I come from, I'm pretty much like a product of a Mac 10, basically. You know what I'm saying? Where next level gangster shit. Not that, I mean, we grimy and do all the gangster shit, but we like to shine too at the same time. So we're gonna be in the khakis and the dickies and all the gangster apparel, but it's gonna be decked out with the fat rollies, the Benzes with the Forgiatos, Bendies and balling, low riders and all that shit. That's Mac 10, banging and balling. That's pretty much Mitchy Slick at the same time, you know?
And also, as well, in the year 2013, you actually appeared on R&B legend Gladys Knight's album, Another Journey, on the song Old School. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this amazing collaboration. And of course, what was it like working alongside her?
Well, Gladys Knight is basically going to be considered the queen of black music, period, right now. That's still alive. So saying it was an honor is an understatement, bro. That was something that a lot of artists, almost no artist, no matter how big they are or how great they are, something they would all want to do. And I think I'm the only cat that ever has made a record with her. That was just a validation, man, for me. I haven't got a lot of the accolades and a lot of the rewards I want out of this game, but it just let me know the politics is the reason, and not because of my work, because when I was able to accomplish things like that, that's what solidified to me that I deserve to be who I think I'm supposed to be. So Gladys is by far, hands down, the most honor and the biggest accomplishment I've done with this music shit today. And shout out to my auntie, and I love her for that.
And also, as well, in the same year that record actually came out, yourself and Gladys actually took the stage on the Queen Latifah show. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about this phenomenal performance, and of course, what was it like just being on the set of that amazing talk show?
That's crazy that you asked that, because a lot of people don't know how big one of those productions is and how much of a boss Queen Latifah is. I mean, Latifah had over 100 employees on that show. I mean, it was lit. It was big. And, man, just like I said, man, just being around people that's so legendary and so huge, just validation for me. But, yeah, man, it was something special. And, you know, they really handle business differently than just an average hip-hop thing. You know what I'm saying? You go in there and you feel like a superstar. That TV is much bigger than the rap shit. You know what I'm saying? The music shit. And shout out to Real, real genuine, loving, down home type of girl, round the way type of girl, man. Much love to the big home girl for that. You know what I mean?
And also as well, I know this might sound like a cliche type question, but obviously performing on a talk show is a little bit different than performing on a normal concert stage. So I have to ask, like, what is the difference from doing an actual performance in like an arena or a stadium versus a talk show? Is there certain stipulations they put on artists, or do you just go out there and do your thing like it's any other venue?
Well, the main thing I was talking about different was the concierge treatment that was on the set. You know what I'm saying? You was on the set at a regular hip hop show, it's chaotic, it's whatever. You on a fucking set at the Queen Latifah show, it feel like you about to go into the spa and just kick back and have a relaxing ass day. It was very plush, it was very, very VIP'd up, and that's what I mean by it, man. It was just a fly type of situation where everything was major, big, and really suited for the artist, you know what I mean?
And also, aside from the music industry here for a moment, you are also an actor that actually starred in a few films as well. And my personal favorite performance that you actually did was in the year 2014, where you were actually a part of the movie 99 North, where you actually played the character Benny. I was wondering, what actually made you decide to venture into acting? And of course, what was it like just being on the set of that amazing film?
Well, I got picked because just who I am. I guess they feel I fit the role, but my history with acting go way back, but like way back as a young kid. I went to the oldest black acting school in Hollywood called Alphan, and man, it was a lot older kids there, but I was 3 or 4 kid fields and Rodney Allen, Rippy, and a lot of cats, big artists at the time was there. I was a little kid. They was older and all, but my parents, man, they was trying to make something special out of me, man. You know what I mean? And I went to SCPA as well in my middle school years at School of Creative and Performing Arts in San Diego, man. So, a lot of hood kids went there. We went to the school just to, be around all the girls, and you had to take some type of, performing arts elective. So all the hood cats that was fortunate enough to get to go there, we would take drama, and we'd mess around in drama class and do skits and stuff, but the whole thing was really about being around the girls and the leotards running around all day. But on the side note, we actually learned skills because we had real working Hollywood actors and our acting coaches and teachers at the school. So, I always had it in me. It was nothing I really wanted to do, but after I figured out, I could really do this and start, like, some of the movies I saw and some of the things I heard in the industry about how much I'm a hustler, man. I'm about money. As much money as them actors was making, man, it was coming up, shit. I want to try and see if I could get a bar of it. So basically, I've been in a few movies since then. I've been in another movie called Baby Gangster, man. Shout out to my homeboy Westbred Diamond, my homie from West LA. Put together a movie. I put it out a couple years ago called Baby Gangster. I starred in that movie. I played role of a menace named Papa, and that was good. I'm waiting for the big role. I hollered at my big brother DJ Pooh, man, and Tony, man, and Snoop. Snoop told me he was gonna put me in his next album, so I'm waiting for that opportunity. But yeah, that's second nature to me. I think I do the acting stuff better than I do the rapping stuff, man. So I'm just waiting for that big call.
And also, January 9th of this year, 2021, you actually released the phenomenal 13-track album alongside Damn You. I was wondering, what is the story and inspiration behind this brand new phenomenal record? And of course, where can our listeners actually buy or stream themselves a copy today if they haven't already done so?
They can stream it everywhere. It's on all streaming platforms, bro. Apple, everywhere, man. Let's stream it on fucking on Spotify, whatever. It's everywhere. But Damu, homie, that's my brother, man. He's from the neighborhood next to mine, man. And between my neighborhood and our neighborhood, it's been camaraderie for years, man, for 30, 40 years. But between those two neighborhoods is 23 blocks. And so we named the album 23 Blocks, basically saying my hood and his hood. That's just a short way to say Lincoln Park and 5-9 Brims. It's a lot of history between those neighborhoods, and me and Damu came together and basically did something that the streets of San Diego been wanting for us forever. So we made the album for San Diego, man. I mean, not like you ain't gonna love it or get it, but if you interested in what's going on in our town, oh, it's all laid out right there. And we basically just showing the cat that, you know, it's here and we still got it. Me and Moo been at it for like, Moo was on the first album, you know what I'm saying? He was on one of the title tracks you had out on the first album. So Moo and me, man, that's like Batman and Robin in Southeast San Diego, man. And that was for the town. But yeah, everybody got to check that out because if you in the West Coast gangster shit, I mean that's the epitome of it there, right there, man. That's the red print on how to do that right there. 23 blocks. The album it just came out like what's been it? Was it the beginning of this year? Yeah, 23 blocks. The main single you can go check out. We got a video out right now called Elevate. Go Mitchy Slick and Down Elevate. You gonna get a full bar what West Coast supposed to sound like on that.
And also as well, immediately following this interview, I'm going to be playing one of my favorite songs by you. It's a fairly recent song as well, titled No Choice. I was wondering if you could actually tell our listeners what can they expect if this is their first time hearing this phenomenal song right here live on the radio station dial this evening.
That song right there is basically telling my story and also giving an explanation for why some of us cats in our type of communities take the choices and go the route where we go. Because, like, a lot of people think that you got to be crazy or off the chain or you're just a bad dude from day one to be, you know, from a gang or be from a, you know, do what cats do in the hood. And that song is explaining that some of us didn't have a choice. When you grow up in a community like I grew up in, and the blood and the gang presence is so thick and so strong, you'll fuck around and be part of it, affiliated, or be a victim of it without even knowing that you even considered a part of the gang. You know what I mean? And so basically, that's an explanation to why I fell to the shit I fell to. And if you hear that record, I mean, that's that might be one of my top 5 favorite records, bro, just because it's so personal, you know?
And I gotta say as well, with that song, I really loved it as well because you actually like you said, you tell your story on what it's like as well. And I have to say as well, I do like how you're actually telling individuals that, you know, I didn't have a choice, but you have a choice. I really loved how you tried to teach the youth and telling them that it's not a good avenue to go.
Well, that's it with me, man. I don't glorify the gangster shit. A lot of cats glorify it. When I was young, maybe I did a little bit. I was a young dude. I might have glorified it a little bit more, but coming up now, bro, I don't glorify the shit because at the end of the day, it's about taking care of your family, and I don't really know too much about gangbanging and doing all that shit that helps you take care of your mom, your kids, your pops, and all that type of shit. So, nah, I don't glorify the shit, but I'm most definitely going to let you know what it really, really is. You know what I mean?
And also as well, I was wondering, what's next for yourself, Mitchy Slick? Is there anything we happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the Canadian Dial this evening.
Well, mostly, bruh, I've just been staying away from, like, trying to do any type of bending over, man, to be accepted or be part of the fraternity, man, of the popular rappers and shit. For so long, I tried to be cool and be friendly and open up my arms, but I just learned really that don't really get you nowhere in the rap game. So I haven't turned into the mad rapper, but I'm just more into me now. I do what works for me now. I'm not trying to win over no fans. Any youngsters want to get on and listen to my music, they most definitely going to get a lesson, but I'm not out here trying to make new fans or nothing like that. If you like my shit, you like it, you know what I'm saying? So I got an album called Everybody Hates Mitch about to come out, produced by the homie Veterano. I did a collaboration for the business with the Fresh Yard Records, and you know we gonna keep that rocking, man. We about to put this record out called Everybody Hates Mitch. I got the homie Jay Worthy on there, all the Wrong Kind family on there. I got the homie E40, man, my big brother E40 blessed me with a verse on the track I got on there called Clack You Out. So it's going down. And then my group, we got a group album finna come out, the Wrong Kind group album. And the title of the album is Never Die, man. I got all my cats on there. Ice B. I got Ice B on there. I got the homie Mac 90, Half Ounce, Reek Nut, Ice B, Aux, the Squadron, man. You know, it's a group album. So basically, everybody that follows Slick, they know all these artists right here, and we just really, really flexing this West Coast shit on that album, man. So that's what we got going on. I also got a cannabis brand I launched out there in Oklahoma called Fruits, man. So be on the lookout for that. But you know, man, it's just keeping it West Coast. I mean, that's it, man. I'm always dropping singles, but right now I'm finna drop a lot of albums, man. And we also got Triggeration Station 2 coming 22, man. So be on deck for that.
And also, this is the time there, Mitchy, right before I wrap things up, for just a chance for the artist that actually slides into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, like, shout-outs to whoever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything West Coast finest Mitchy Slick, if they're not already doing so.
Well, they can, my Instagram, basically, I mean, everything with me is Mitchy Slick. You Google Mitchy Slick, you're going to find me. But Mitchy Slick, wrong kind. That's MITCHY, and then wrong kind. That's my main Instagram. And then I got wrongkinddepot.com. That's where they can buy the merch. So tap in there. And then most of my clothing collabos and shit y'all can find at The Fresh Yard on Instagram. The Fresh Yard or thefreshyard.com. Yes, sir.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Mitchy, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening on your very busy schedule, man. It was definitely an honor and most certainly a privilege, man. Like I told you, I grew up listening to your music, man, since the Debo mixtape series, and I have to say, thank you for making years of monumental music that not only myself, but millions of fans worldwide had the opportunity to enjoy for so many years, man. And I'm definitely looking forward to the brand new music that is to come as well.
Well, I appreciate you having me, homie, and anytime you want to do it again, let me know. When I drop this album, maybe we could do a review and go over and talk about the album, you know?
Hey, most definitely, man. You just let me know whenever you want to make that happen, and we can definitely make that one possible.
I appreciate you, fam.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much, Mitchy, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in California.
Right on, brother. Have a good one out there in Canada, too, man.
I definitely shall try, man. Thank you so much again.
All right, peace.